Before the Avengers assembled, one star-spangled hero had to prove his worth. In a world not yet saturated with superheroes, Captain America the First Avenger faced the daunting task of making a World War II patriot relevant to a global 21st century audience. Join me as I explore how this origin story not only introduced a cornerstone of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also delivered a thrilling adventure that still stands tall over a decade later. Welcome back to the Watchlist, where I'm continuing the journey through the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Today I'm going back to 2011 again, and diving into Captain America the First Avenger, the fifth film in the MCU and a crucial piece of the puzzle leading up to the Avengers. Helmed by Joe Johnston, the director behind the cult classic The Rocketeer, Johnston's experience with period pieces and superhero narratives made him an ideal choice for this unique story. This film faced the challenge of introducing a character in 1940s America to a diverse global audience in the 21st century. So let's jump into how the creative team successfully fulfilled this task and explore the reasons why this movie continues to captivate audiences and maintain its status as a fan favourite more than a decade after its initial release. The structure of Captain America the First Avenger does a great job introducing this origin story. The film begins in the present day with the discovery of a frozen aircraft in the Arctic. We then flash back to 1942, following Steve Rogers' journey from a scrawny, determined guy to the super soldier Captain America. The screenplay, penned by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, does an excellent job of balancing character development with action set pieces. We spend a significant amount of time with pre-serum Steve, allowing us to connect with his moral compass and determination. This investment pays off when he finally becomes Captain America, as we then understand the man behind the shield. The film's pacing is well managed, with the first act focusing on Steve's background and transformation, the second act showcasing his rise as a symbol and hero, and the third act delivering on the promise of action and his brave sacrifice. Joe Johnston's direction shines in creating a believable 1940s setting. Like I said earlier, his experience with period pieces, particularly The Rocketeer, is evident in the attention to detail in costumes, set design, and overall aesthetic. The film successfully captures the look and feel of the era while still maintaining this modern sensibility that fits within the larger MCU. One of the production's biggest challenges was creating a believable physical transformation for Steve Rogers. The visual effects team, led by Christopher Townsend, used a combination of CGI and practical effects to shrink Chris Evans down for his pre-serum scenes. This effect is crucial to the film's success, as it allows the audience to buy into Steve's journey, and it doesn't look completely outlandish. The action sequences in Captain America the First Avenger are a blend of practical stunts and CGI enhancements. From Steve's early days in basic training to the climatic battle aboard the Red Skull's aircraft, one standout sequence for me is where Captain America raids the Hydra base to rescue Bucky and the other prisoners. This scene truly demonstrates Steve's physical power while also highlighting his tactical mind. The visual effects in the film are generally strong, with a previous mentioned Skinny Steve being the particular triumph. The Red Skull's reveal is another effects highlight, with Hugo Weaving's performance enhanced by impressive prosthetics and CGI to create a truly menacing villain. The film's colour palette is also worth noting. It's a muted, slightly desaturated look that fits the period setting, while still allowing for moments of vibrant colour, particularly in Captain America's costume and shield, and the bright blue of the Tesseract. Alan Silvestri's score deserves a special mention, particularly the inspiring Captain America March. The music perfectly captures the heroic spirit of the character and the era, becoming an instant classic within the MCU soundtrack. Chris Evans' portrayal of Steve Rogers, Captain America, stands out as the cornerstone of this film, adding authenticity and heroism. Although Evans was initially hesitant to commit to the role due to the potential long-term implications of this career, he ultimately embraced the character with a dedication that shines through every scene. His performance strikes a delicate balance between earnestness and determination. Evans' portrayal is particularly impressive in how it seamlessly bridges Steve Rogers' physical transformation from a scrawny, determined guy to the pinnacle of human potential. This depiction of Steve's character serves as a reminder that Captain America's true strength doesn't lie in his enhanced abilities, but in his ethics and his willingness to stand up for what's right, no matter the odds. Hayley Atwell's Peggy Carter is a standout performance, avoiding the typical love interest tropes to become a fully realised character in her own right. Her chemistry with Evans is memorable, making their short romance all the more moving. Her role as Peggy Carter has also gifted her multiple reappearances throughout the MCU, including her own series and multiversal counterparts. Sebastian Stan's portrayal of Bucky Barnes is crucial in establishing the foundation for future MCU storylines. Stan brings depth to the character, effectively conveying Bucky's loyalty and camaraderie with Steve. Their on-screen friendship feels authentic and lived in, built on a shared history that resonates throughout the film. This relationship adds some emotional weight to Bucky's apparent death, creating a moment that reverberates not only within this movie, but also sets the stage for developments in future MCU installments. Tommy Lee Jones brings his gruff charm to the role of Colonel Chester Phillips. His gradual shift from skepticism to respect for Steve is well played and satisfying. Hugo Weaving's portrayal of Johann Schmidt, Red Skull, is a masterclass in villainy. Weaving brings a perfect blend of menace and charisma to the role. His performance is genuine as it maintains that sense of threat. Schmidt's megalomania and twisted ideology are conveyed brilliantly throughout Weaving's performance. His delivery and imposing presence make every scene he's in full of tension. The reveal of Red Skull's true face is a standout moment, with Weaving's expressive eyes conveying the character's madness even beneath the impressive prosthetics. The supporting cast, including Dominic Cooper as Howard Stark, Toby Jones as Dr. Armin Zola, and Stanley Tucci as Dr. Erskine, all contribute depth and colour to the world of the film. Tucci in particular makes a strong impression in his limited screen time, creating a mentor whose influence on Steve resonates throughout the movie. As it's the fifth entry in the MCU, Captain America the First Avenger plays a crucial role in setting up future storylines and connections. The Tesseract, introduced here as Hydra's power source, becomes a major plot point in the Avengers and beyond. Later revealed as one of the 6 Infinity Stones, this cosmic artifact's presence in the 1940s establishes a theme that carries on through the MCU. Howard Stark's involvement provides a direct link to Tony Stark, Iron Man, enriching the backstory for both characters. This generational connection adds depth to the Stark's legacy and sets up future conflicts and revelations, particularly in Iron Man 2 and Captain America Civil War. The film's epilogue, set in modern-day New York, directly leads into the Avengers, with Nick Fury recruiting Cap for the initiative. This seamless transition bridges the gap between Cap's 1940s origins and his role in the Avengers team. The introduction of Hydra as a threat extends beyond this film, playing a major role in Captain America the Winter Soldier and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This establishes a long-running antagonist that weaves into multiple corners of the MCU. Bucky's fall from the train sets up his return as the Winter Soldier, a plotline that would drive much of the Captain America trilogy. This seemingly minor event in the First Avenger becomes a catalyst for one of the most compelling character arcs in the entire MCU. These connections really show Marvel's commitment to building a cohesive universe. Let's crack on with some interesting tidbits about Captain America the First Avenger. Like I mentioned earlier, Chris Evans initially turned down the role multiple times before finally accepting, concerned about the long-term contract and potential typecasting. The USO performance scene featuring the Star Spangled Man song was filmed in one continuous shot. The film's working title was Frostbite, a clever nod to Cap's eventual fate. Joe Johnston's experience working on the Raiders of the Lost Ark as a visual effects artist influenced the film's 1940s adventure tone. The vintage cars used in the film were worth over $85 million in total, including a rare Bentley owned by Howard Stark. And lastly, Stan Lee's cameo in this film occurs during the scene where Captain America is supposed to receive a medal from a US senator. Lee plays a general in the audience who initially mistakes another man for Steve Rogers. In my ongoing ranking of the MCU films, Captain America the First Avenger earns a solid A-tier placement. While it may not reach the heights of some later MCU entries, it succeeds admirably in establishing Captain America as a compelling character and setting the stage for future adventures. Its period setting and strong performances make it a standout in the early phases of the MCU. Captain America the First Avenger faced the daunting task of introducing a potentially outdated superhero to modern audiences, and it succeeded with flying colours. The film's strengths lie in its compelling origin story that truly emphasises character over spectacle, strong performances particularly from Chris Evans and Hayley Atwell, skillful integration of the 1940s period elements with superhero action, effective world building that expands the MCU, and explorations of heroism, sacrifice and determination. While some critics at the time felt the film was merely a step up for the Avengers, Captain America the First Avenger stands well as an entertaining adventure that I always look forward to rewatching. It also successfully translates a unique American icon to the big screen. The film's emphasis on Steve Rogers' character, his unwavering moral compass and willingness to sacrifice for others, established Captain America as the heart of the Avengers and a backbone of the MCU for years to come.